Yes, we can say hello and good afternoon to a legendary actor, big West Ham fan, and of course, agent Ray Winstone joins us on Drive. Hello, Ray. How are you?
How you doing, Ray?
I'm very, very well. How are you doing, boys?
We're good. We're very well. Thanks so much for coming. We're both massive fans of yours. We've got so much to talk to you about, obviously, West Ham. But before we do, just tell me a bit about you being an agent now. How long has this been happening for, Ray?
I'm not so much an agent. I'm not the agent. We've got a company called ISM, Integral Sports Management, and set up by Gary Petit and myself. And we have like-minded people around us who do the jobs as agents. They know much more how to run a business than I do. I can tell you that for sure. But my interest is really, grassroots. Young kids like Ryan Pedeston we've got playing today on against a great champion, Andy Murray. And he pushed him. I was watching the first set, and he pushed him there. He's playing very, very well actually. It's experience that's telling at the moment. But I think if he can go to four sets, he might wear him down a little bit. He's still got a chance. He's in there. He's fighting.
Ray, you've got a few young footballers as well.
Yeah, we've got some kids. We've got about 40 clients overall, men and women. We're dealing with men and women's football, and recently we've moved players from Ireland, Premier League clubs, and Europe. Matthew Moore went to Hoffenheim, so these are all young players, with coming in from grassroots levels. So that's where we wanted to start, and that's where we wanted to be,
Right, if your agency are having trouble negotiating with someone, do they send you in with a snooker ball in a sock?
Absolutely, yes.
It's a yes from me. Are you enjoying it, Ray? Because obviously, we know you and love you from being this wonderful actor, but this is another string to your bow. Are you enjoying that side of things? I
can see how it started. It really, Gary's boy, he was playing at West Ham Youth Academy, and you see about 40 kids there, from the age of that, their dream is to become a professional footballer, And at the end of a season, a term, whatever you want to call it, most of them kids are let go. And they're given a letter, a note, more or less, and told, that's it, that your career is over, your dream is over. Unless they've got someone backing them up to move them on somewhere, it's finished, and God knows what happens to them. So for us, it was a fact of, thinking we needed to do something about this. Because if you've got 40 kids at an academy, it doesn't matter what club it is, they've got to be good players, and there's got to be somewhere in the world of football for them. So that's really where we started, and we kind of went on from there. We found that kids were coming to us more than us going out and finding them, who needed help. And we're quite a kind of boutique kind of agency. The kids that really want it and want to go on, and we don't necessarily mean that they have the most talent, but they want to go on, they want to learn, and they want to try. They're the kids we're kind of interested in, and we want to move on and help them in their life, whatever they end up doing, Kind of like a boxing club works, Not every kid that goes to a boxing club ends up a champion, but it's a great grounding and a great school for the rest of your life,
Right, I've got to ask you about West Ham this season. How many days did you party on for after the big result and the scenes at the end of the game? It must have been very special because it's your club. To see David Moyes as well, that was brilliant, wasn't he? When he was dancing around the pitch.
I was very pleased for Moyes, actually, because he's had a lot of stick, and I kind of lost a bit of faith in him as well, to be honest with you. But the way the season went in the Premiership, it was diabolical, really. We started off poorly and we couldn't kind of get that confidence back. But if you look over the season, we was only getting beat by the odd goal, and I do feel we brought in too many new players at once instead of just blending them in, bleeding them into the team. But to win a European Cup at the end of it, and I was supposedly had tickets to go. And at the last minute, they fell out of bed. So I didn't end up going. I was in Sicily and watched it on the telly. And on top of a mountain in the dark on my own, as a sack, jumping about, singing songs. It was fantastic, yeah.
Ray, let me ask you, you said there that you, throughout the season, lost a bit of faith with David Moyes. What's your view on him now? Is he the right man to take West Ham forward?
Well, I can't see anyone else doing the job now. Not for the moment, anyway. I've actually met David, and I like him as a man. He's a good man. I met him years ago when he was at Everton. Really, really liked him, and I was so pleased for him when we had a great season. This season, it seemed we didn't have a plan B, and we've got an attacking side. On paper, it looks an attacking team. But we kind of set up to defend. And I think when you're playing a team like Manchester City, especially first game of the season, if you want to defend against Man City for 90 minutes, you're going to be in trouble because they're going to break you down, at one point. And I think we ended up getting done 4-0. I'm not sure, I can't remember now. But for me, if you're going to play Man City, play them like Brentford do or Brighton do, They have a go and they get results.
Yeah, well, I've got to ask you about Declan Rice. I mean, it was brilliant to see him pick that trophy up, and looks like he could be on his way, should be on his way. But West Ham are going to get a lot of money coming in to the club, which is great for West Ham. Where would you say they need strengthening? We could talk about a midfielder because to replace him, but where else in the pitch do they need more players?
We've got a lot of midfielders at West Ham, or we did have at the end of the season anyway. To replace Declan Rice is very, very difficult. I understand the kid's got to move on, and that's we've known that for a year. So, and to me, he's the best thing I've seen on a pair of legs for many, many years. The cleanest tackler I've ever seen. He reads the game so well, and he's in today's climate. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of money, but if you have to measure him up against other players that are being sold and bought, I'm afraid that that's the price tag. Who are you going to replace him with? I don't know. Who wants to come to West Ham? I don't know. It seems that anyone we sort of go after, we lose. They go somewhere else. Maybe it's going back to an academy thing like we always had years ago. We always bred great players. We were a bit of a selling club. I know that. When you look at the Lampards and those kind of players that came through our club, fantastic players. And we sold them on. But it seems now, maybe with Kenny Brown there now and Mark Noble in the back, the academy start to grow again. And maybe that's where we need to look,
He's up there now for a lot of people, Declan Rice, with the likes of Billy Bonds and Bobby Moore, like as a proper club legend. Is that how you see it, Ray?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It must be. He's won the European Cup with the team. And let's don't forget, the kid gives 110% every time he plays for West Ham. So... For me, he's got to be, And I love the way he carries himself as well, So whoever he ends up going to, they're very lucky.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ray, let me ask you, I don't know if you're aware of this, I'm sure you are. There was a story a couple of months ago linking you with Southend. The story was a group of local businessmen, they're in advanced talks to buy Southend United, a deal that could result in the English actor Ray Winstone joining the board. Is there any truth in that?
Well, I can't because I'm part of an agency, so I can't be part of a board anyway. For a football club, I did have talks with a certain company about it because I got a great love for Southend because it's the first team I ever went to see play football when I was a kid. My nan lived in Southend, so I was a little kid. My uncle Len took me along to see Southend play, so I've always had a kind of a little love affair with them. So I hope someone takes it over and turns it into a blinding club, because it needs some money.
Yeah.
Injected into it a bit lively.
I think the story was you and Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I don't know how true that.
Can you imagine me and The Rock? No, a bit of Brighton Rock.
Southend Rock, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know? No. I mean, there's people banning the things around,
Okay.
It's rubbish. But, I don't know. I think that the people that are actually going into there have great intentions of actually are doing some good stuff there. They want to develop the stadium there. And with that kind of facility that they're talking about, they will, the good players will want to go there, at that level and play. And hopefully that would stand Southend in good stead for the future.
Right, listen, thank you so much for coming on. When we had our meeting earlier on, we were all talking about our favourite Ray Winstone films. The list goes on and on and on. What are you up to at the moment? Are you making more movies?
No, there's a writer's strike in America, and the actors look like coming out on strike. They're probably the actors that come out on strike, the ones who are out of work. So I'll probably be one of them. So I'm not working at the moment. I'm just I'm in Sicily now.
Okay,
I do a bit of restoration work there.
You've not retired though, have you? You're still going to carry on?
No, you can't retire. You got to pay your tax, didn't you, Ray?
Of course you have.
I think Sexy Beast 2 needs to be made.
Yeah, well, they've made a series of it.
Of Sexy Beast, did they?
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
that.
You're not in that though, are you?
No, I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
in
want to see it
that
then,
one. No.
unless you're in it. We
No,
don't care.
Good, you never know.
All right, we'll check it out. When are you next in London? We'd obviously love to see you in the studio, Ray. You about soon?
I'll be home in August because I'm coming up to see my little girl. She's doing a show in London. My Joe's doing one, which I've seen, and my youngest girl's doing a show in Ealing. So I'll be home to see that.
All right. Well, can we get you in the studio?
Yeah, if I'm about for long enough, I will. It'll be a pleasure.
All right.
Be nice to see you both anyway.
It'd be lovely. If Jim White phones you up, just ignore the call, all right? Thanks, Ray. Lovely speaking to you. Take
Cheers,
care.
Ray.
Okay, guys, stay well and have a good night.
Thanks, man. You too.
Via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.